Hey, I've got a secret. It's on the tip of my tongue, it's on the back of my lungs. I know something you don't know, which is what I did last week. It was a pretty quiet week in WoW. I wasn't really drawn to a whole bunch of stuff. I did do a few things like delves, a couple of Mythic Plus dungeons, tried to get some PvP done, but that did not go well. So let's talk about everything that happened. I'll start off with PvP this week because that was the thing I was most looking forward to. I was just really excited to get to Friday and once again, just like I did the week before, just spend the night doing some battlegrounds, specifically Deep Hall Ravine. I'm really liking that battleground, and so I was queuing specifically into that. And I guess Horde just decided to get good, or there was a bunch of pre-mades going on because Alliance was just getting demolished the entire night. I spent like 2.5 or 3 hours playing and we got 4 wins. The other games we were just getting roasted. Like Horde would push us back to our spawn and defeat us within like 5 minutes. It was the exact opposite of the experience I had the week before where I was having a great time. This time I hated it. It was so bad. So I thought I'm just going to jump onto a Horde character and see what happens. And I knew what was going to happen. You know what's going to happen. I jumped on my mage and queued up, and sure enough, the exact same thing was happening. Alliance was now pumping us. So it didn't matter which faction I was playing, which character I was playing, I had the exact same experience, and I was just so frustrated because I was looking forward to this all week. I really wanted to play some Battlegrounds, specifically, again, that one, and it just was not working out. And I know I could have done some other Battlegrounds, but at that point I was just so frustrated I didn't want to do PvP at all. I was just like, just whatever, forget it, I don't care, it's over. So hopefully maybe I can spend some time during the week doing Battlegrounds, or maybe next weekend will be a little bit easier and more fun. But yeah, I was just so disappointed, so frustrated, and so mad that I didn't get to have the same experience I had before, which was just a lot of fun. Going into PvE this week, my warrior didn't do much the week before, so he didn't really have anything in his vault, so I ended up taking a socket that I believe I put on my helm. With my warrior, I was able to jump into a 12 Rookery group, which was a half guild group. This dungeon's probably one of my favorites this expansion, so I don't really mind doing it, but this was definitely the first time that I felt more than ever that I needed to play absolutely perfect because it was just a 12 and it was hard. I think even more so because Fury is not a meta class, I felt more obligated to make sure I'm not the reason we don't time this. And overall, I think I did okay. I didn't die. I did decent enough damage to not feel like I was a hard carry, but I would have liked to have seen more DPS from me. But we did time that without any concerns. I ended up getting 40 more rating out of that, so I jumped up to a Mythic Plus rating of 2,679. On my Paladin, he ended up getting a small boost to item level, not even a full one, but I just used like Valor Stones and Crests to upgrade some gear that I had. In his vault, he had Heroic Hands, which I wasn't able to catalyze because I don't have a charge, which I think I'm getting another one this week, so once that happens, I can replace my Champ Track gloves with those. With him, I jumped into a 2 Darkflame just so I could have a dungeon done for the week, but also a chance at the mount. I did not get the mount, but someone else in the group did. Unfortunately for me, they ended up needing it, so that sucks, but I did see it drop, so hopefully soon I can get that, but just 1 dungeon a week maybe is not that bad. I would like to do a little bit more on him than just 1 a week, but this week I didn't have that much time to play, so I'll take what I can get. And then on my Shaman, he ended up getting almost 5 item levels this week, so he's ending at 633. I had a heroic weapon from my vault that replaced my champ weapon, and then I had a couple of warbound pieces, including a shoulder piece that I catalyzed to get my last and 5th tier piece. And then like my paladin, I had some stones and crests that I used to upgrade my gear there as well. Outside of just logging in to get my gear, I didn't do anything on him this week, no dungeons. I appreciate everyone who left comments last week with all of the tips on how to not only play a healer, but specifically how to better play a resto shaman. To be honest, the more I read those, the more overwhelmed I got though, and it was just a lot of information coming in at once. So I do appreciate it. I'm probably just going to take a break from my shaman for a minute, just because that was a lot. So yeah, healing is just hard, and I don't know if it's something that is for me. I think I'm not built for that. And then outside of that, I didn't really do a whole lot because I wasn't able to PvP a lot, and because I wasn't doing that many Mythic Plus dungeons, I kind of just spent the week doing world quests, delves, world soul memories, a nightfall event, and whatever else there was that was just kind of weekly, daily content. Some of that was done on the stream this past Wednesday, so if you want to check that out, the VOD is up for that now. I should be back around 12 to 12:30 Pacific time this coming Wednesday, which is tomorrow. I'll be live here on YouTube as well as on Twitch, trying to do some more world quests as well as maybe some more Mythic Plus dungeons. I was able to do that to Darkflame on my Paladin on stream. If you want to come check that out, come say hi, I would love to see you. One thing I was really happy about this week is that I finished off the second part of the Siesbarg mount, I think it's called. I got the 1000 Nerubian Venom, and the last thing I need is now just to collect 500 Nerubian Blood. As I was doing some questing this week, I was able to get a couple, so I'm just going to see how far I can get with that, and then once I start to get close within like 100 or so, I might go farm it, but it seems like the blood I can get just from doing my day-to-day stuff. Not a whole lot, obviously, but this way I'm not just mindlessly farming something that I can just get over a longer period of time. Move on to the mounts for the week. I was able to finally get a few so I can talk about them. I bought the Ruby Butterfly from the trading post, which is from, I think, 1 or 2 trading posts ago. I just had that frozen and finally ended up using it now. And I also bought the Brownford Spiky Bakar from the trading post. I think this mount looks better than Taven, but I think both of them are still really ugly. And then the third mount I got was the Thunderdrum Misfire, which is for getting Renown 8 with the Galagio rep. I've been able to buy this for a while, I just kept forgetting and didn't know where the guy was, so finally spent some time and got that. For achievements this week, I only got 40 more, so I'm ending the week at 45,365. I got the Turning the Venom Tide achievement, which is to complete 10 Nightfall dailies. Prized Guys, which is to collect a PvP set from Season 2. And I'm bringing Narub back, which is to complete a tier set from the Nerebar Palace raid. My goal this week in a perfect world would be to do at least 1 dungeon on my warrior, ideally anything from a 10 to 12. At least 1 dungeon on my paladin, maybe 1 dungeon on my shaman. On my warrior, I'd like to finally spend some time working on the Underpin achievement. That one I just keep putting off because I know it's going to be annoying. I would also like to start doing some delves on my paladin to see if I can get the tank achievement for that. Again, probably the thing that I'm most excited about is PvPing on my hunters, so hopefully that works out. If Deepal Ravine is another stompfest against me, I'll see if I can queue up some other battlegrounds and maybe have a better time there, because that's where I've been the most excited to play the last 2 weeks, and again, like I said, it's unfortunate this week just didn't work out. But that is it for me. That's everything that I did this week and all the things that I wanted to talk about. Let me know how your week went, what you did in-game, what you did outside of it, whether it's related to WoW or not, everything and everything, I would love to hear about it. If you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. You get nothing in return, and I think that that should be more than enough for you. If you didn't see it, a couple months ago, I posted a video talking about how my warrior is now 18 years old, and I took a little fun trip down memory lane and just recounted some of the fun stories from my time playing. If that sounds interesting, click the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. I love you lots. Have yourself a fantastic week. I'll at you next week.